Alright, I know that Infinity Train Book 2 just ended, but I'm already dying to know what's going to happen next season. I was pleasantly surprised by what they chose to expand on between seasons 1 and 2, and I need to know which characters and throughlines they'll choose to focus on next. I'm Whitney Van Laningham, and here's what you can expect to see in Infinity Train Season 3. If you haven't seen Infinity Train Book 2, Cracked Reflection yet, hit pause on this video and tune into Cartoon Network. You don't want this show to be spoiled, y'all. You've been warned. Based on the fact that we had completely new protagonists in Book 2 and barely saw some of the main characters from Book 1, I'm going to go ahead and guess that Alan, Dracula, Jesse, and Lake aren't going to be a huge part of next season. Once the train has helped you learn, it's time to move on. And that's why I think we'll be focusing yet again on the characters in this series who still need to find themselves and lower their numbers. So obviously the big question on everyone's mind is, who will be the center of Infinity Train Book 3? With Book 2, we saw one of the more interesting one-off characters of Book 1 explored further, so if we assume that the writers will take a similar approach to the next season, who could follow in Lake's place? The characters that I felt had some loose ends worth tying up are the businessman that Lake steals an initiation pod from, and the girl with the dead lizard we saw in the tape car. First of all, dude, what happened to that businessman? Did he get eaten by a demodog cockroach in the wasteland, or did he somehow figure out a way back to his quest on the train? I mean, Tulip kind of figured it out after she woke up in the snow car, but she also wasn't just plucked from a deep sleep out of a technologically advanced pod that just kidnapped her from her normal life in order to administer intense inpatient therapy. That businessman probably just fell asleep on the LIRR on his way home from stock trading on Wall Street. He's not ready to go full Finn Wolfhard on some cockroach dogs from the Upside Down. However, I think it's fair to say that having an older dude with a business background won't be entirely relatable to the young demo Infinity Train is primarily targeting, so he likely won't be the main character of the third installment. Still, I hope we get some clue as to what happened with this guy. I don't think I enjoy the prospect of Lake causing another death, even inadvertently. Speaking of death, maybe I'm a little morbid, but I gotta know what's up with that girl and her dead lizard. Did she really kill it by accident, or are we dealing with a burgeoning serial killer here? I'm only half joking. But seriously, what lessons can you possibly learn that will make your dead lizard pain go away? I guess if the train can teach you to get over your parents' divorce, the train can teach you to get over your beloved childhood pet's death? While we don't know much else about this girl, I think there's a small chance that we'll meet her again in the future to get some closure on that dead lizard. That said, I'm not sure if she'll hold audiences' interest enough to build anticipation for a third season. I do think that there are two major characters introduced in Book 2 that will generate some hype for the next season, but not as protagonists, as villains. Of course, I'm talking about Grace, Simon, and their Apex cult. If you're a keen observer, you've noticed that Grace and Simon were both hinted at the end of Season 1, so it's possible that the Apex has always been the endgame baddies for the show. The Apex is a band of misfit raiders that believe the train belongs to them, and that therefore they're allowed to do whatever they want. They also believe that Amelia is the ultimate example of how to live your life on the train. Instead of viewing her as a heartbroken person trying to cope with the loss of a loved one, the Apex believe that Amelia has set a standard worth emulating with her seemingly endless green numbers. They also falsely think that 1-1, a null, usurped Amelia and exiled her. According to the Apex, nulls, aka native train denizens, are worthless, useless, and their feelings aren't real. And that's why they see their own mistakes and setbacks as strengths and victories. They celebrate their mistakes instead of trying to learn and grow and change from them. Their number isn't a thing to reduce, but a high score that signifies rank within their tribe. This mindset definitely needs a whole season to explore. And based on my guess, Grace and the Apex will be the central focus of the next season like Mirror Tulip was for this one. This would also mean that we'll likely see Amelia come back as well. Grace idealizes Amelia, but according to their latest Reddit AMA, writers Maddie and Owen don't think that Amelia would be okay with that at all. Amelia isn't someone to be idolized. She kept herself trapped by refusing to make the changes in her life that she needed in order to evolve. And Amelia definitely knows that. There's no way that current Amelia thinks that destroying and reassembling the entire train to try to recreate the life she had with Ulrich was healthy. And if she ever runs into Grace or Simon on the train, I hope she'll be able to be the kind of mentor for them that Mirror Tulip was to Jesse. Although, with how far indoctrinated they are into their high score mindset, the truth might be a pill too big for them to swallow. More than likely, we'll see Amelia mentor another new passenger, who will help her try and save or defeat the Apex in order to atone for her past. I definitely want to delve into the backstory of how the Apex decided to band together like the Peter Pan and the Lost Boys of the Infinity Train. Why did they get on the train in the first place? I predict that the next time we see them, they'll be trying to take down 1-1. They told us this season that they believe that 1-1 is a waste of space null who brought Amelia down because he couldn't handle her individuality. I think that they're going to make a misguided attempt to remove 1-1 from his role as conductor, and that they're going to try to get the rest of the train to go off the rails with them, and it'll be up to Amelia to stop them. It's easier to stay stuck than it is to change, and that's really what Infinity Train is about. I think more than anything, I'm the most excited to learn more about the Infinity Train's lore and origin story in Book 3. I had so many questions about how exactly the train worked, selected people, got them started on their journeys, etc. after Book 1 ended, and I was so excited when most of my questions were answered in the last 2 episodes of Book 2. After learning about how people's memories are collected and stored in the tape room, and how the whole green number system actually works, I can't wait to learn more. Like, who created this train in the first place? How many people accidentally die in the wasteland when they try to leave the train? How does the train find passengers who are at a crossroad in their lives? What happened to Khaki Bottom's ears? Most importantly, how are they going to continue to expand on the issue brought up by MT for the last 2 seasons? What if you were bred in captivity on the Infinity Train, but you want to have your own autonomy? When MT confronts 1-1 and asks to get off the train to live her own life, 1-1 replies by telling her how useful she is to the train, and makes her feel like she should just accept her place, no matter what her actual desires and needs are. With the Apex boasting that the denizens of the train's feelings aren't real, and the train's practices making it nearly impossible for non-passengers to disembark, surely we're going to see more of this debate in Book 3. Is it cruel of the train to keep its beings locked inside, forced to be useful to the train's overall purpose forever? Or do most of the Infinity Train's residents feel no need to step away from the train and into the real world? Those are just a few of the things that I hope to see explored or answered in Book 3, but I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Who will be the main characters of the 3rd season? Will Amelia come back as an actual character, or will she only be brought up in discussion about the Apex? Will we see any of the series' other recurring characters again, like Atticus or Alan Dracula? Or are they just temporarily off on other adventures? Let me know your thoughts, click to the left for more videos, and try not to let that green number get out of hand before Infinity Train comes back.